Hello to all, welcome back to the channel Cloud Knowledge. This video is on Azure Database for MySQL Flexible Server. This is in continuation to the playlist of MySQL Flexible Server. So in the previous video or in the first video of this series, we have created MySQL Flexible Server in Azure through Azure Portal. And this was the Flexible Server CK MySQL DB. If you have not watched that video, please watch that video so that we can now proceed on the next topic. Next topic is to connect to this server through MySQL Workbench and then create some data, that is tables, and query it. Okay, so if we go to the official documentation by Microsoft here, in the previous video also we have seen that the official documentation lies under the Azure Database for MySQL documentation. Under the Flexible Server, we used this quick start to create MySQL Flexible Server in the previous video through Portal. Now the next section is to connect and query through MySQL Workbench. And in this section, that is the MySQL Workbench, we have some prerequisites. That is, we should have MySQL Flexible Server in place. Then preparing the client workstation. For this, we need to install MySQL Workbench on our computer. So here is the official link, the MySQL worksite. If you open this worksite here, you can download this for your operating system or for your machine. Okay, so this MySQL Workbench is already installed in my machine, and this is the MySQL Workbench first page. Here we have two existing connections, and in this video we are going to connect to the flexible server which we have created in the previous video. Okay, which is this server CK MySQL DB we are going to connect. And in order to connect to this Azure Database for MySQL Flexible Server, we have to take the server name from here. So we'll copy the server name, which is the name of the database.mysql.database.azure.com. Copy it, and here in the MySQL Workbench, we'll click on plus, this new MySQL connection. Here in this page, it's written, what is MySQL Workbench? It is the official graphical user interface tool for MySQL. It allows you to design, create, and browse your database schemas, work with database objects, and insert data, as well as design and run queries, SQL queries, to work with stored data. You can also migrate schemas and data from other database vendors to your MySQL database. So this is a GUI for the MySQL, and now we are going to connect to the server. So we'll click on plus sign here. It will open up this page where we have to set up the connection. Let's name the connection as CK MySQL DB. Connectivity method be TCP IP, leave it as is. Host name, this is the place where we have to give the server name. Okay, port is by default 3306 for MySQL Flexible Server. Username, if you remember in the previous video we have given the username for the Flexible Server as CK MySQL DB. If you don't remember it, go back to the server, and here under the server name we have server admin login name. This name we are going to give here, and then we'll click on test connection, and then it will ask us the password. So we'll click on test connection. It will ask us to enter the CK MySQL DB password. Enter the password which you have given while creation of the flexible server. Click OK. It will notify us that the connection is made successful to this server. We'll click OK, and here we'll click OK. So now we can see CK MySQL DB connection here in the workbench. We'll just open it, double click on this. It is opening the SQL editor. Wait for some time. So CK MySQL DB is open now. And if we go back to the official documentation by Microsoft, here, if we go down, this section is having the queries to create a table, insert data, read data, update data, and delete data. Okay, here what we are going to do is create database, which will be quickstart DB. We'll use this database. We'll first drop the table if it exists, and then we'll create that table. Create table command is here. Then we'll insert 3 rows into it. We'll read it through select query, then update it, update one of the row, and then again select, and then delete one of the row. So we'll copy these commands which are already present or provided in the official documentation by Microsoft. We'll go back here in the MySQL Workbench inside our database and paste the command. You can execute it one by one also, or you can execute it together. Let's execute it one by one. Here at the top you can see this symbol. This is used to execute the commands. So here we have selected the create database command. It will use, and this symbol will use to execute the selected portion of the script. So we'll click, and here at the bottom we'll see the output. Action output is to create database. It has created database and we are using it. Now next is to create a table and insert rows. So let's execute these commands. Drop table if it already exists, create table, and then insert. So we'll click on again the same symbol of execution, and at the bottom in the output we can see create table has executed successfully. This green symbol says that it's executed successfully. 1 row is affected, means 3 rows are already added. We'll now try to read the data. So we'll select this read query, that is the select query, and now we can see here that 3 rows it has. Okay, ID, name, quantity, banana, orange, apple. Okay, next is to update this table where we have to set the quantity to 200 where ID is 1. That is, for the first row where the name is banana of the fruit, we have to set the quantity from 150, we have to change it to 200. Let's apply this change and then query. Okay, this also executed, and we could see now instead of 150 we have the quantity as 200 for the ID 1, name banana. Next command is to delete. Delete from this table where ID is equals to 2. So the row which is having ID 2, orange, and 154 as quantity will be deleted. Let's execute this. This also executed successfully, and now we can see only 2 rows, banana, apple. So this was a short demonstration on how we can connect and query the database tables in MySQL Workbench for the Azure MySQL Flexible Server, which we have created there in the portal. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned to let me know in comments if you have any queries. Happy learning. Bye.